is getting some national attention. Jason Kander versus current Senator Roy Blunt is going to be heating up because that could be one of the ones that holds the Senate in balance. And which way it goes, which party is going to be in control, could come down to that. So Roy Blunt is officially supporting Donald Trump, kind of. St. Louis Post-Dispatch columnist Tony Messenger here to talk all about it. Good morning, Tony.
Good morning, McGraw. Good morning, Kelly. How are you all doing today?
We're good. He's been telling us for weeks and months that whoever won the nomination, that's who he would support, and he is supporting Donald Trump.
Yeah, and I wrote in my column this week that I think it ran Friday. I was surprised when Senator Blunt came out through his office and specifically said he would support Trump for a couple of reasons. One, politically, I think it's an unforced error for him. He is a politician who usually keeps his options wide open, and that's sort of been the hallmark of what he does. He's a negotiator. He's a guy who likes to keep that option open till the last minute so that he can make a deal, and it's been an effective strategy for him. And by saying specifically that he would support Trump, one, it closes off an option for him as the political landscape changed, as Trump does more and more crazy during the election season. That's just going to hurt Roy Blunt, and I think it's a sign that he recognizes that he has an actual race this time. And when Jason Kander put his name in the hat to run against Senator Blunt, I thought he was a bit of a long shot. I thought it was a good thing for a young up-and-coming Democrat. You run statewide, you lose, but you get name ID. If you look at all of the top statewide candidates in Missouri right now, they've all run a race like that and lost. Roy Blunt has lost statewide. Claire McCaskill has lost statewide. Jay Nixon has lost statewide. Those aren't necessarily bad things. They're, as you're building a political brand, those can be good things. So I thought that's what was going to happen with Jason Kander. But all of a sudden, the landscape has changed. Trump has changed it. And I think Roy Blunt saying that he's going to support Trump, it surprised me because I personally just think that he knows better that Trump is different. This is not a traditional year where you support whoever the Republican is. Trump not only isn't a Republican, he's a guy who just I don't think most of us want to see the nuclear codes in that guy's hand. He's scary.
Tony, I'm going to make a prediction here with this Trump Blunt Hillary argument going on or conversation going on, and
go ahead.
And that is this. So I really think, and I'm talking about the state of Missouri here. I really think Democrats are going to vote for Donald Trump more than people think, because Democrats, he's saying a lot of things that Democrats have been saying. They're anti-trade, they're anti-NAFTA, all of these things, right? Big bailouts on Wall Street. They also have a visceral reaction to Hillary. They don't like Hillary, but they're Democrats, so they'd vote for Trump. And so in some way, I think Blunt is saying, hey, Democrats who don't like Hillary, I'm with Trump, so you come and vote with me.
I don't think he's saying that at all.
Okay.
And I don't disagree with you that some of that will happen. I think some white Democrats will vote for Trump. But I think the reality is when you look at the demographics of the nation and national presidential elections, Trump can't win the vote with women. He can't win the vote with Hispanics. He can't win the vote with blacks. He can't win the vote with any people of color. And that's a changing national demographic as it relates to presidential elections. He may get some working class union Democrats who kind of head over, some of the folks who are supporting Sanders right now who just don't like Hillary Clinton and who think that Trump as a president might actually be more like them. But this is the reason that Trump is scary. I was talking to somebody about this yesterday who's a diehard, been a Republican his whole life. And he says the problem is when trying to decide whether or not to support Trump, the only way you can do it is if you only believe certain of his lies. There's no way to support Trump without accepting the fact that he's a liar, but you have to hope that the worst of his stuff is the real lies, and that the real Trump is the guy who's actually kind of a moderate. And so it's just it makes it impossible to make a reasonable decision. And I think as the election goes on, we're going to see more of what we've seen from Donald Trump, and there's going to be more mishaps. And in a general election where it's just two people and the nation is actually paying more attention, I think it's going to continue to hurt him. I think Roy Blunt coming out and saying I support Trump, but doing so really meekly, I don't think it helps him in his Senate race against Jason Kander.
I've talked to a number of Republicans, operatives, people inside the party. They really think Jason Kander has a legitimate shot at beating Roy Blunt.
The more this race unfolds, I think it could happen. I would still, if I were a betting man, and I'm not, but if I were a betting man, I'd still put my money on Roy Blunt to win that race right now. But this is what my Republican friend and I were talking about yesterday over coffee. Is he was saying that no matter who he talks to, this is somebody who's pretty deeply involved in politics most of his life, and he says it's amazing right now how unpredictable it is when he asks committed Democrats in the political system that he knows and committed Republicans in the political system what he knows, what do you think is going to happen? He can't predict what the answers are right now because they're all over the board. People who have been involved in and written about and followed and been active in politics have no idea what's really going to happen this year. It is a new ball game, and it will be interesting to watch come November.
Tony Messenger, St. Louis Post-Dispatch columnist. He's with us every Tuesday and Thursday. Tony, thanks for checking in.
Good to talk to you, McGraw.